ginawa, pero walang tubig, is for me a tip of the iceberg. Nangyari po ito sa buong Pilipinas. Magkano na naman ngayon yung hinihingi ng National Irrigation Administration para sa mga bagong project ng irrigation?
Nagrereklamo na ang taong bayan dahil nagsimahala na yung presyo ng bigas. Hindi na nakain ng kanin dahil nga sa
So ayan guys, umiinit na naman tayo sa debate ngayon dahil sa init ina ito na pinababayaan ng mga kontraktor. Nakatiwangwang na lang pala itong mga irrigation at pinabayaan na. Tinakbuhan pa ito ng mga kontraktor na gagawa sana sa mga patubig sa ating lugar. Ayan, nagmamahalan na yung mga bigas dahil sa ginawa ng National Irrigation na yan. Nagtatanong tuloy ang ating mga butante kung nasaan na yung pangakong bigas 20 kilos na ipinangako ni Pangulong Marcos dati. So ayan guys, pakinggan na lang muna natin yung mga sinasabi ng mga mambabatas.
Can I ask, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, what is the frequency of her visit to the irrigations under her area? What is the frequency?
To answer my good friend from Dinagat, Congressman Dagok, the issue in Dinagat is the inadequate water supply in irrigable areas, meaning there is irrigation there without water. Sometimes in Barangay Santo Niño, Libhot, Dinagat Island. These are caused due to severe heat and water level of dam continuously being reduced, which would eventually result in inefficient water supply to main canals and lateral canals. But Mr. Speaker, my good friend, the Department of Agriculture is recommending that we add additional solar watered pump projects, and we are requesting for an augmentation of 15 million pesos so that these irrigation canals now can become real irrigation canals with water, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, no? Napakaganda po yung sinabi mo. But for the record, no? Hindi ko po to tinatanong for Dinagat only. What I'm telling is, itong nangyari sa Dinagat na maraming irrigation ginawa pero walang tubig is for me a tip of the iceberg. Nangyari po ito sa buong Pilipinas sa tingin ko. That's why I am bringing this matter to this hall. Baka kasi magkano na naman ngayon yung hinihingi ng National Irrigation Administration para sa mga bagong project ng irrigation. Kasi aside doon sa isang area na yan, sa Cagneyog, may dalawa pang area na lumitaw. Sinabihan na nila yung taga-irrigation. That's why hinanap ko kanina yung babae na in charge doon. Sinabihan na ng mga magsasaka doon, walang tubig dyan. Pinilit pa rin kinonstruct. Tapos pinareceive sa mga irrigator. So, ang question is, number one, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, ano ba talaga ang patakaran ng National Irrigation Administration? Yung life cycle ng irrigation, mula sa pag-request dito ng budget sa Kongreso hanggang sa pag-construct. After ba na-construct yan, pabayaan na lang ng hindi supervise kung nagagamit pa, kung may dumadaloy na tubig, kung walang magreklamo, saka lang puntahan doon. That's why I am asking a while ago, yung frequency ng visit. Kaya nga may satellite office. Anong ginagawa niya doon sa air condition office ng National Irrigation? Ang sinusupervise niya, yung irrigation, hindi yung room niya. Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, linawin natin, may supervision ba kayo o puntahan lang ninyo kung may magreklamo? Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor.
Mr. Speaker, the senior Undersecretary Panganiban has assured me that we will admonish all regional directors that do not visit and actually report factual cases here in the Department of Agriculture, especially that this department is headed by no less than the President. And I assure the Congressman Dagok that I too myself will join you in this call, and that's one of the reasons why we want the subcommittee to actually investigate those non-performing personnel of the Department of Agriculture so that we can get to the bottom of all these projects, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, for the interest of time, ayaw ko pong patagalin to. Pero sana, magiging eye-opener to, year in, year out, nagbibigay tayo ng bilyong pundo sa national irrigation. Sisiguraduhin natin na yung irrigation na kanilang i-construct ay napakinabangan ng mga magsasaka. Malaki pong problema natin sa bigas, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. At ang kanang kamay ng rice production ay irrigation po. Tapos ganun-ganun na lang, pabayaan na lang, basta lang makonstruct, ipareceive. Yung mga pinareceive ninyo na Irrigators Association, mga kamag-anak ko, kilala ko po, nire-receive lang nila dahil sinabihan, pirma lang kayo dahil tapos na. That is not the purpose of constructing irrigation. The purpose of constructing irrigation para may patubig yung lugar na kailangang ma-irrigate para makapagtanim ng palay. Hindi po hanggang makonstruct lang. I hope that the Department of Agriculture, where this National Irrigation is an attached agency, siguruhin po natin na mapakinabangan yung irrigation natin. Hindi basta lang tapusin, bayaran yung kontraktor at yung in charge ninyo pupunta lang doon kung may magreklamo. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. I hope this is an eye-opener to NIA and to the Department of Agriculture. Naghihirap na po tayo ng paghanap ng pundo. Tapos ganon-ganon na lang. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I would like to assure the gentleman that the Department of Agriculture will surely look into this and make sure that everyone is working properly and all irrigation canals should have water. Thank you, Congressman Dagoc, for your insightful and very helpful query.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Rodante Marcoleta of the Sagip Party List for his manifestation.
The distinguished Honorable Marcoleta of Sagip Party List is recognized and interpolate the sponsor. Please proceed.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat, Mr. Sponsor. This is more of a manifestation than an interpellation. Ito po ay bunsod po ng kagustuhan ng representative na ito na makatulong po kung paano natin may bababa ang presyo ng bigas sa ating bansa. Alam po natin na pinagsisikapan ng ating pamahalaan, nagkaroon pa nga po ng price cap sa bigas. Bagamat ito po ay isang masakit na hakbang, ngunit kailangan pong gawin ng ating Pangulo sapagkat naalala niya po ang kalagayan ng mga mahihirap nating kababayan. Ngunit dahil po dyan ay gumawa po kami sa panig namin, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, ng isang experiment. Kinausap ko po yung ating mga kaibigan sa private sector, more particularly yung pong Pampanga Chamber of Commerce. Ang ginawa po namin ay bumili kami ng bigas na ito po ay harvested na sa isang barangay. Ang buying price po namin is the prevailing price of the NFA, which today is 19 pesos per kilo. Dadagdagan po namin yun ng 3 piso para maging 23 pesos. Masaya po yung farmer, Sir Speaker, Your Honor, dahil kung bibili lang ng 19, parang talo pa siya, sabi niya. Pero sa kabuang 3 pisong dagdag, masaya na po siya, Mr. Speaker. Dagdag na 3 pesos per kilo of palay. Ang sumunod po ay dinala namin ang aming nabiling palay sa isang sa mga millers. At ang recovery rate po pala ng palay is about 65% ang natitirang bigas pagkatapos na ipakiskis yung palay. Medyo mababa po ng konti sapagkat medyo yung nakita naming mga millers, mga ano na po medyo luma na po. Kung ang nakuha naming mga millers yung pong medyo bago-bago, baka ang recovery rate is about 70%. Magkano po namin binayaran yung pagpapakiskis ng palay? It's only 2 pesos and 90 centavos, Mr. Speaker. Bababa pa po yun kung ibibigay namin yung na-recover naming darak, which is 10% nung pong binili namin na palay. Yung pong binlid, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, is about 1.4%. May bebenta po nung miller yon ng 10 pesos per kilo, both binlid at saka yung darak. Alam po ba ninyo ang nangyari? Naibenta po namin doon sa mga rank and file employees po, nung sinasabi ko sa inyo mga businessmen sa Pampangas Chamber, at 35 pesos per kilo. So, pwede po palang mangyari, Mr. Speaker, masarap na bigas at 35 pesos, masaya pa po ang mga farmers sapagkat may dagdag nakita sila. Ang ibig lamang pong sabihin nito, pagpapasok pala, Mr. Speaker, ang private capital, imbes na subsidy ng gobyerno, mas madali po Mas hindi tayo mahirapan sapagkat kung inaakala po ng iba na kailangan nating ibaba ang taripa, magsasakripisyo naman po yung mga public services natin. Dito papasok ang private capital para makatulong. At babalik naman po sa kanila yung puhunan, iikot lang. Sa kwenta po namin, tumubo pa ng 2 piso per kilo ng bigas. Yun pong nagkapital. Kaya babalik lamang po yun paulit-ulit kung ito po'y marereplicate natin, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. Malaking bagay po na makakatulong po sa ating mga mamamayan. Ang tawag po namin doon ay ipakiskis mo, baby. Salamat po, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, rest assured that the Department of Agriculture will look into the suggestions of Congressman Dante Marcoleta, Ipakiskis Mo Baby program, because there will be no more traders and capitalists, and so the cost trading and consolidation of the value chain can address this gap, and we can sell the rice for 35 pesos. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize the Honorable J.C. Abalos of the Purpose Party List for his interpellation.
The Honorable Representative Abalos of the Party List 4Ps is recognized. Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, honorable colleagues, and to the Department of Agriculture family, including all its attached agencies, magandang gabi po. For my first question, Mr. Speaker, I would like to know what is the current budget allocation of NFA for buffer stocking, and what is the proposed for the year 2024?
Mr. Speaker, in 2023, the NFA has a budget of around 9 billion pesos intended for buffer stocking. And in 2024, we proposed a total of 16.5 billion. However, we have been given an allocation under the NEP amounting only to 9 billion pesos, as same as the 2023 GAA level, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, just last week, the President, as the concurrent Secretary of the Department, pegged the farm gate price of palay from 19 pesos to 23 pesos per kilo for dry, and 19 pesos from 16 pesos per kilo for wet palay. Is this correct, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The additional 4 pesos has actually been implemented, and we are buying now at 23 pesos, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, gusto ko pong malaman, sapat po ba ang proposed 2024 budget ng NFA para mabili ang palay ng ating mga magsasaka?
Mr. Speaker, as any other agencies, it is not enough, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, kung sakaling bibilihin po natin ang mga palay sa ganitong halaga, ang aking tanong, hindi ba rin nito maapektuhan ang retail price ng bigas na maaring maging mabigat sa mga consumer?
Hindi naman po, Mr. Speaker, hindi maapektuhan.
Mr. Speaker, isa po sa mga napakahalagang nawala sa NFA sa ilalim ng rice tariffication law ay ang regulatory function nito. And with the issues facing the local rice industry, yung hindi halos napigilang pagtaas ng bigas sa merkado, problema sa kalidad ng mga pumapasok na imported rice dahil sa hindi maayos na issuance ng sanitary at phytosanitary import clearances, issues sa compliance ng rice labeling at iba pa. Maaari bang malaman kung ano ang posisyon sa ngayon ng ahensya sa pag-aamyenda ng RA 11203 para maipabalik ang functions ng NFA higit sa buffer stocking?
Mr. Speaker, the department is actually undergoing a review of the RTL, rice tariffication law, and we are just awaiting the recommendations for us to be able to ask Congress to repeal or amend some of the provisions there are.
Mr. Speaker, may I ask the distinguished sponsor and the department, what is the rice self-sufficiency rate of our country ever since the RTL had been enacted?
84, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask, what is the average rice self-sufficiency rate of our country from 2015 to 2018 prior to the enactment of the RTL?
Mr. Speaker, from 2015 to 2018, the number is 82.
Mr. Speaker, for my next question, ano ang total volume ng imported rice na pumasok mula January to present?
Mr. Speaker, it's 2.4 million metric tons.
Mr. Speaker, according to RA 11203, the amount in excess of 10 billion in tariff revenue shall be earmarked by Congress and included in the GAA to the following. Number 1, rice farmer financial assistance. 2, titling of agricultural rice lands. 3, expanded crop insurance program on rice. Number 4, crop diversification program. Magkano ang total tariff collections including the tariff projection by the end of 2023?
Mr. Speaker, the Bureau of Customs, or BOC, has certified last September 19, 2023 that we have an 8,181,380,624.66 has already been collected as tariff revenues from rice importation for the months of January to March 2023. And the tariff revenues from this rice importation collected for the month of April to August have yet to be certified by the Bureau of Customs, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, may data po ba tayo kung ilang rice farmers ang makikinabang sa RCEF base sa mga sa amount na naibahagi sa atin ng ating distinguished sponsor? And maaari ko po ba malaman, Mr. Speaker, may data po ba tayo kung ilang rice farmers ang nakabenefit simula nang ma-implement ang RTL at ilan ang projected beneficiaries for this year and next year?